Hi, this is John Abel with the Danos Safety Division, here with Josh Urias. We're going to be visiting a little bit about combustion chambers, heater treaters, vapor combustion units, those sort of things. Josh, tell me what happened on April 24th, 2020.
So it was, another normal regular night. Everything was going smoothly. I was just about ready to head home, and I did one last round through one of our facilities. That VCU we had there on site, it was down that day. The other PT had tried to get it going, and he didn't have luck. So I went by and thought I got the issue figured out. Went to go light it, and when I did, it lit me.
Burns you pretty good, huh?
Burned me pretty good, yes sir.
What kind of burns did you receive out of that?
I got mainly first and second degree burns on my face, neck, and hands. On my hands, I mean, there's still, there is still a little bit of pinkish and discoloring and everything. My face pretty cleared up pretty well, but I got it wasn't fun, that's for sure.
For sure, yeah, I remember that night. How did that burn affect your family?
My family, I think it took the biggest toll probably on my wife. Her used to me helping out and everything, and her having to do everything on her own, plus taking care of me. So it was rough on the kids. It was hard too, them seeing me kind of not being able to operate and function like I had before. So that was rough on everybody.
Pretty hard. So the injuries itself were hard on you, but they were also hard on your family, huh?
Yes, sir. Most definitely.
Yeah, I can remember the trauma in your wife's eyes when it was all taking place. If you were to talk to another production tech or a pumper, what would be your advice when dealing with combustion units or heater treaters or anything of that sort? Do you have any advice for them?
I would first get with somebody if they're not familiar with SOP, a startup procedure. Definitely get with somebody who has one in place. There before we really didn't have a proper SOP for that before my incident. But yeah, I would figure out what would be the best way to go about doing it, shutting off all gas, making sure everything's bled off. If you need to get a gas monitor in there or anything to kind of probe for gas before lighting up, just to be sure that the only ignition source is going to be that pilot, because that's if it's not just that pilot and you got some other gas going in there, that's where we get in trouble.
Yeah, because the unique thing about yours is yours was actually, the one you were working with was actually a pretty new unit that was automatic.
Yes.
And yet it had a delay in the ignition system that was built in, but you weren't aware of that, correct?
Yes, sir.
And that was kind of what led up to what happened, is you weren't aware of that because there wasn't a procedure per se, correct?
Yes, sir. There wasn't the procedure per se, and on mine there was a couple of other engineering mistakes that were made, and well, it was mainly engineering that happened too. But I mean, after everything, they do now have a proper SOP in place and everything. So it's don't be the mistake though that leads to something happening like that, where an SOP is needed to be put in place.
Okay, so policies are definitely written in blood and pain, aren't they?
Yes, sir. They sure are.
Josh, I appreciate you taking your time to share your story. We just want to get the message out to other production techs that these things are very dangerous. They have some pretty much regular standard operating procedures about making sure that you're shutting the supply lines off, letting them vent before you start your starting sequence. So I appreciate your time. Thank you very much. And we're sure glad that you're healing and on the road to recovery.
Yes,
Thanks.
sir. Thank you, John.
All right. Appreciate it. All right.